Yeah, and now we're live. Producer Joe on the Met show loves to just hit the go live button while we're in the middle of conversation. I you guys do that too on Just Too Sweet sometimes. Welcome back in on Sportsmanlike Conduct. We're back. Our first episode since the draft that we covered for about 4 hours straight, and yeah, we're supposed to be three guys. We're supposed to be three. Somebody maybe they're making a fashionably late entrance. Maybe he's going to be coming down from the rafters like Sting. But Timmy, you're here. I'm here. That's all that matters right now. And
Exactly.
I'm happy to be back, and I'm happy to be talking all different kinds of sports here.
Yeah, we're
We
changing
can
the
get into some
format.
baseball. We
I
can get
like
into
it.
some basketball. What you
It
been
makes
up to
sense.
since
You
the
know what?
draft?
Since the draft, nothing. Not a damn thing. Waiting patiently for football to come back. No, yeah. No, man, just, trying to get through this baseball season. My team hasn't been doing very well lately. Yeah, man, that's all there. You said that's the only bad thing about summer. I mean, if you love baseball, good for you, but I can't have just baseball. I need my other sports to come back right away.
It's tough.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Anytime there's one sport, I mean, even if it's football, okay, but anytime there's just one sport going on, is like days like today. I don't know if are the Yankees off today.
Yes.
Okay, so
No. I think they played today. Oh no, I think they're off today. I don't even know, to be honest with you. I have no idea.
I
Usually they're off
thought,
Thursdays.
yeah,
They might be off because of the two game set that just
yeah, it's a
passed.
weird
Yeah.
2-game set.
Yeah.
So on days like this where there's nothing to do, you start seeing the posts on for whatever team it is. No Yankees today. What are you guys doing? No Mets today. What are you watching? So we figured it's in our best interest and your best interest also to talk about all different kinds of sports, and because we just got to do it. We got to cover the craziness in the NBA, the NFL, baseball. What up, Tommy Trumpet? Look at that new nickname for Timmy, the double T from Terzio. That's the Tommy Trumpet. It's Timmy Trumpet.
So why change? Why change it? I don't understand.
He's the trumpet guy who plays Edwin Diaz's theme song when he comes in.
Why are you insulting me right off the bat? I didn't do anything to you. This guy likes to start shit, man. He likes to start shit.
Yeah, I know. But on this show it's gonna be fun. So Terzio, just in case you missed us, we're gonna be talking about all sports here. So chime in whatever you'd like to chime in about.
Can I say one quick thing though?
Yes. Make whatever rules you want. I'm all for it.
Well, I just want to say that last year, during this entrance, no one gave a shit because he sucked. Now, it's the greatest goddamn entrance in the world, and everyone's jumping on the bandwagon. Now, when I went to a game last year, when they were doing bad, when he came in, I was like, dude, that's pretty fucking cool. That's a cool ass entrance. Yeah. But no one cared because he sucked. Now, it's the greatest thing in the world.
Nothing is going to be worse. Nothing will ever be worse than 2019 Edwin Diaz. That was the year that he gave up like 18 ninth inning. How do you even do that? 18 ninth inning home runs. Yeah, and that's part of, and this is all sports, Timmy, right? It's part of the, settling yourself down in New York City, coming from a place like Seattle. We always joke about.
It's true.
That kind of stuff. But Seattle, Texas,
Joey Gallo
Cleveland,
can't stop hitting home runs all of a sudden.
Look at that.
Go figure it out. You can't figure it out.
Laid back Los Angeles, right? Lindor came from Cleveland and was like getting booed out of the building. And now he's in his second year. No, don't do that. See, it was that no, Timmy.
Ask how many people remember Billy Wagner. Ask how many people remember him.
Listen, Terzio, let's have some. Let's not get crazy though. All right.
No,
so
let me ask you a quick thought. I'll ask both of you guys.
Yeah.
How does it feel though now? See, because now you guys are riding high. You have probably one of the best teams in the National League. You're first place, but now the pressure. Now the pressure comes. Now the bandwagon fans come out of the woodworks. Now you get the people who are just going to do nothing but torture you guys. Yep. If you lose, it's I said it's rough it sucks being bad, but it might be harder being good.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Because now the expectations,
having the expectations.
The expectations are out of control now. So
we got a man with deep pockets that says Terzio. But you know, for
Sergio, let me ask
me,
you a question too, though, because you're one of those. You spark me as one of those Steinbrenner buys World Series guys. Why is it okay now?
I was
I'm just
never
saying,
one of those guys
and
because
I'm not against it because
I was
good for
jealous.
you guys.
I was like,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
good.
I was
What is this?
John Moxley's the undisputed AEW champion.
Beat CM
In
Punk in 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Wow. Spoiler alert, Raul.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. I didn't get a chance to watch it now.
Well, now you know that you can do it right before you go to bed. 3 minutes.
That's it. I'll have to watch it right after this is over now.
All right. But well, for me, for you know, from the Mets point of view, it is. I've told the guys I'm not gonna get too high. I'm not gonna get too low because a few years back when the Mets were like 23-4, they had a 5-24 June. So you know, those type of things happen, but it's as being a Mets fan and you know, there's pity involved almost. I was never that guy to say, you know, Steinbrenner's buying stuff in or, you know, that kind of stuff because I wanted the Mets tried to do it. I don't, you know, Bobby Bonilla and Eddie Murray in the early 90s. Then late 90s they did it a little bit better. Early 2000s, Mo Vaughn, Jeremy Burnett, Roberto Alomar.
And you
They
know what?
tried.
This might be blasphemy, and I don't care. But when you watch like the all the documentaries and shit that's coming out, you think about it. Steinbrenner, they won in 77, 78, fine. Sucked all the way until he got
80s.
kicked out of baseball.
Yeah.
Won 4 World Series without him. He comes back. Oh, that don't work no more. So you get your Giambis and your whoever else you get. They don't win again.
Right.
Like the guy takes a step back because he's sick and dying, and they win the World Series. I'm just saying, his way didn't work. I'm just being completely honest. It didn't work.
What was your dynasty? Pettit,
Homegrown,
Rivera,
homegrown with
all
pieces.
the grown, right?
Yeah.
And that is the perfect way to do it. I think, you know, and again in the Met situation, every time that there's been a homegrown, here's 3 guys, late 90s, mid 90s, there was that Generation K, Jason Isringhausen, Bill Pulsifer, and Paul Wilson. They were supposed to be unbelievable. The Mets were going to be set there for 15 years, 3 pitchers, aces. Boom. They all, you know, Isringhausen was crap for us. Went on to have a nice career with Oakland as a closer. Then the other 2 fizzled out, and then this time around, Timmy, it was DeGrom, it was Harvey. Now he, you know, he's cocaine. Mats, he's gone. Syndergaard, now Noah's dodging us with the Angels. He won't pitch against us. With the Phillies, they won't pitch against us. That's 7 games rest. You remember a few years ago when we first, kind of like when we first met, and we talked about trades on the show. What was it, Syndergaard? And you wanted to. Who is that guy? Who's the outfielder that you really liked? That had the attitude. Who was it?
I'm already drawing a blank.
But you remember who I'm talking? Do you remember that conversation? It was a guy. He kept on getting sent down to the minors. Brought back. He's since been traded. But it was because of his attitude. I know he
Clint Frazier,
right field. Clint Frazier.
Clint Frazier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I remember you were like leading in with, because the back of the post or whatever had DeGrom and Syndergaard in Yankee uniform jerseys. Yeah. So we were talking about that.
Your nightmare.
But anyway, Syndergaard's taking a lot of heat, and he's well deserved. He won't stop pitching against his own, his old team. So
I don't know if you heard up down there, but up here, the sports people went crazy because the Mets were going to play a Syndergaard tribute video.
Oh,
right before his start, but then he backed out of it anyway. Yeah.
There it is. Hey, let's get this little tidbit out of the way. Terzio says, Tim, drink your beer through a hot dog straw. Was that not one of the worst things that you've ever seen?
That's just that has nothing to do with Yankee fan. That has to do with mentally.
No, not at all.
Fucking whacked out of your brain to be doing that. That's just disgusting all around.
And did you see the other video of the guy that ran on the field? Like right before it was happening.
No.
A fan ran on. I don't remember if it was a Met fan or a Yankee fan. Might have been a Met fan because he went up to Marte to give him a high five, and Marte was like, "Oh, get away from me!" And he like went like this, and then he got tackled. But
That's
the
great.
video shows from he was still in the stands, like getting like pumping himself up, and something went on where there was some cheering, and he ran down the steps and jumped there. He went to go give a five to Marte. He was like with his glove. He was like, "Get out of here."
That's great.
All right.
Who's disgruntled? I'm not disgruntled.
No. For
I'm
what?
fine. I'm
For
fine.
what? We're gonna get to the baseball standings in a little bit because you know the Mets have a lead down to 2. Yankees have a lead down to 7 or 8 from 15. Ours is from 10. But the Mets are like 9 or 10 games over 500 since the All-Star break or whatever. But they've lost ground for the Braves. Braves just
The Braves are on
can't.
fire, man.
Don't got fucking lose
They
unless
don't.
they're facing us. We beat them 4 out of 5. All right. First off, happy birthday. Today was Kobe Bryant's birthday, so a little cheers there. And on his birthday, I don't know if you saw news came through a little while ago that the jury decided in favor of Vanessa Bryant, awarding her and the family $16 million for those photographs that the fire rescue
That's
that
horrible.
I wouldn't even want to see that, and it was all over. I never saw it. I don't know about anybody else, but
I don't think they got that
I would
far. I think they were pulled down quickly.
imagine that. Like, damn.
Listen,
Talk about
I can get a bit morbid with stuff like that, but I don't want to see Kobe hugging his kid, holding
right.
his kid. That's just fucking wrong. That's just
Yeah, it ain't
completely
right.
wrong. Because there were kids on that helicopter. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I've seen Chris Farley's dead body when the lady
Yeah.
took the pictures of him dead. Because I love Chris Farley, and I don't know why I wanted to see it, but I did. But seeing Kobe hugging his daughter, like they went down that way, no.
Yeah. Awful.
Take that money and I would take that money and like throw it in the ocean. Just say, look, fuck you. This is what I'm doing with that money. Because
Yeah,
you guys
she
are
is.
pieces
No,
of
they
shit.
need it. All right.
Horrible.
All right. Well, let's stick with basketball here. Kevin Durant. So basically, he held the Nets and basketball, the NBA, hostage, for over a month, saying that he's going to be traded. Then the rumors came out saying, "I'm going to retire if they don't trade me." And now, yesterday, no, I'm good. I'll stick around. The guys are, and I'm gonna tie this kind of into something that Stephen A. Smith said on his show a little bit later in this program, but just the way in the NBA that these guys are, they run it. The players obviously run the NBA. I demand a trade here, trade there, but Timmy, let's and the Celtics would probably never put up with this kind of crap, right? But I mean, the Celtics are a much better run organization. But if you're the GM of any team and any mega superstar, but in this case, it's Kevin Durant, and it's all this back and forth. Plus, you got the other nutcase, Kyrie Irving, who's going to walk off the flat Earth one of these days. But he was trying to get to Los Angeles. Now all this stuff that went on, they got to go play now. So forget about it just being the Nets or whatever team. There's 2 big stars on that team that didn't want to play with each other anymore after maybe 2 years. Harden forces his way out to Philadelphia. Now, in your mind, you're the GM. What kind of pain in the ass? Like, do you want to quit your job? Like, what? Like, you look at Durant and you think about the things that are possible on the court, and then you see the attitudes. I want out. I want the Lakers, and then trying to force their way out. Much different from the high times when me and you were really, deep into the NBA. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well,
And it could be any sport, right?
No, but
Could
like,
be anything.
could be any sport. Yeah, especially when a guy's like, "Oh, this guy's going to be traded," that he doesn't get traded. It's like, well, how do you feel now that you almost got traded? You're on the rumors. Now you're stuck in that locker room. That's always been, I think, a little weird
Yeah.
for any player. But this is what I say this all the time in our chats. This is why I don't watch the NBA, because this doesn't happen once every 3 years. For this is every season. One of these guys is demanding. James Harden's demanded trades out of every team he's ever played with. This is why
2 in 1 year.
he's so great. He's so great. He's so great. No, I think he's a piece of shit because he's just such a selfish. Ugh, I can't stand it. And I said most of the players are like that right now, especially in the NBA. That's why I was hoping AMPM would show up, because I wanted to have that fight with him, because he's big on the big on the NBA. But but see, I see this both ways. One, I would say no, you're not. If I can't get what I want for you, you're staying. Live with it or retire. That's up to you. But the other way is too, if you don't want to play here, then I'll get you the fuck out of here. But I'm not going to send you to the cushy Lakers where you want to go. I'm going to send you to Memphis. I'm going to send you to whoever pays. You're going to go to whatever. I don't know. There's Toronto Raptors still a team. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I'll send you to Toronto. I'll send you wherever I want it. Whoever gives me the best deal. I'm not sending you where you want to go, because that's just bullshit. And that's why these players are such prima donnas right now. So
and that's what Raul is kind of saying.
Yeah, I mean, I see both ways for it, but if I'm the Nets GM right now, I say now you got to go into the season with two guys who don't want to be there. I don't know. I'm kind of getting rid of them. I think I'm getting rid of them.
Also the other head case that they picked up from Philadelphia that didn't want to play there. So so the Nets are full with three superstars, if you want to call them all superstars, but you got three big time egos that are, do I want to play with these guys? Do I don't? How do you even fix that? And does it blow up during a playoff series? Do they play the whole thing? What is it called? Load management. And Raul says the same thing that we would say. Today's basketball is garbage. I do enjoy some of it, but I don't enjoy the drama that goes on with I want to be traded and this and that and all that stuff. But I miss the basketball 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Hell yeah.
And as a Celtics fan, again, I was happy they made it to the finals this year. I mean, I watched maybe 20 minutes total of the finals. I can't get into it, but I do like the team they have, especially for the future. But again, as a Celtics fan, I have to hate the Lakers, right? Which I most likely do. But what's with them? All they do is pick up, like, oh, this one's going to the Lakers. This one's going to the Lakers. Why can't they grow a team? Why does everyone have to come in? Because you know why? Because LaBaby plays there. That's why. And what did he just get for a contract? What's he making? $40 million a year?
More. 2 years, 97.
Oh my God, you're so not worth that much. No one's worth that much money. I don't care who you are. No one's worth that. Imagine Jordan played today, $100 million a year, easy. $100 million a year.
Didn't he get 50 for 1 year? Like and towards the end
with the Wizards, maybe with the Wizards. I don't know.
But yeah, and that's another argument. Like who the hell's worth all this money? It's all the business. And if the fans keep on coming and the fans keep on showing up and paying the astronomical prices.
The Lakers keep on. The Lakers keep they're connected to every single player. We're gonna bring him in and play with LeBron. This guy's gonna come in. Now they're saying he signed this 2-year deal just to get LeBron Jr. onto the team in 2 years when he makes the NBA. If he makes the NBA, are you serious? Is that how you do business? Is that how you judge your career and stuff?
I think he, for a few years now, he said that I want to play with my son for a year. So if that is, 2 years, then the draft, so he can, sign a, I'm sure not a $50 million contract, but sign a deal with whoever drafts Bronny, whoever drafts him. That's kind of cool. That's like Griffey. But it's the pricing, and we pay and we pay and we pay, and then in those leagues the salary caps just continue to increase, and so especially in the NBA, remember a few years ago these mid-level guys were getting like 3 years $75 million, and people were going like, what? Oh, they got to spend the money. Yes, so all right, so load management. they kind of talked about that. This is a new thing, that newish kind of thing that has creeped up over the last 5, 6 to 10 years in the NBA, where I need a night off. Kyrie Irving was trying to put in his contract that he will not play on back-to-back days. So not only do you want all that money, but you want to have days off on top of the days off that are embedded in the schedule. Maybe the NBA can do a better job of that. I don't know. But today I heard something from Stephen A. Smith, who gets on my damn nerves, even though he's a Knicks fan.
Except when he talks about the Cowboys. That's always funny.
Yes, that is hilarious. They're going to be, I think they're going there tomorrow, or Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow. But they had a segment. Him and Mad Dog were on today, and they had a segment. They were talking about the Mets and Yankees series, and Stephen A. Smith. My problem is with DeGrom. He didn't pitch yesterday. Why didn't he pitch? Supposed to be the best pitcher in baseball. Like, and he says, this is my main problem with baseball. If people are going to pay the money, and he said, and this is the only sport that it happens. If people are going to pay the money, and immediately I'm like, these guys go on the road, and LeBron James and Anthony Davis won't play in a game in Memphis where people are like super excited. They got to the circle, going to Laker game. What? LeBron and Anthony Davis ain't playing tonight? They're hurt. They're not hurt. You just didn't break. I just spent $300 on the tickets. So here he is saying that DeGrom should have pitched. Stephen A. Smith is not a baseball guy. Stephen A. Smith is an NBA guy, and you can tell when he ventures off into places where he'd rather not be, and that's okay. That's fine. But if you're going to talk about that, you got to know the whole story. Taijuan Walker was supposed to pitch on Sunday. He had back spasms. They moved him back. DeGrom's also had his fair share of injuries over the last year and a half, right? So best to take care of that so that the fans can then potentially celebrate a World Series. So when and then he says, these owners, there's no accountability. Look at Cohen and Steinbrenner. He only mentioned the New York guys, and then Russo said, well, why not then? If you're going to start switching stuff around, why don't you just make Garrett Cole pitch? Why didn't he pitch against Scherzer? This is not what baseball is about. Baseball is about some days your number one is going to face your number four, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes your number four is going to beat your number one. But Stephen A. Smith, do me a favor. Look at the league that you've been covering for 25 years and see that the problem probably started there.
Yeah.
And like me and you would know that. Terzio knows that. Raul knows that. You can't just say, DeGrom can pitch on Tuesday. It's not like this guy Durant was in the lineup for a couple of days. Now he needs a day off. No, it's every 5 days been like that for a billion years.
Meanwhile, Larry Bird played with a broken back. Jordan played with the flu, and who knows what other injuries he had.
Yeah.
You tell the Dream Team from '92 this story, and they're probably killing somebody. I mean, it's disgusting. I'm having it in my contract. Imagine that if I was the owner. If I was the owner, I would say no. The reason I have fans coming here is to watch you play. So now I have to put on the schedule. Well, he's not going to play in this game. Well, he's not going to play in this game.
Put an asterisk. Might not play.
Yeah, might not play in this game.
Potential might not play.
Yeah, if you're here for LeBron, don't come to this game. And then guess what? No one's going to go to that game. That's so stupid. And believe me, would I like to have seen Scherzer versus Cole? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not Scherzer versus Domingo Germán again. It's like, really? It's like, really? Yeah. This is where we are? But that's just baseball.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. There's going to be times where your 5 beats the 2 on the other team. That's just the way it goes. Raul says card subject to change. Yeah, I want Eric. Some joker named Eric Zant says I once wrestled a show with my arm broken in 3 spots. You were falling on a Posturpedic, right, Bill? Oh, those days. Those days.
Those Posturpedic days. Those mattress on the floor days.
Those are the good days, man.
Those were the good days.
Beating the hell out of people. All right. So Durant staying with the Nets. A lot more to come on in the NBA over the next month and a half or so. But one guy that Donovan
I was gonna say who?
Donovan Mitchell. Jeez, I've done this many. Not Donovan. This is the first time I've done that, but I screw up the names all the time. But Donovan Mitchell, who's in the NBA, he plays for the Utah Jazz. It's him and the Knicks have been connected for the last 3 years. When it was made known by Utah that they were going to trade him, not a peep out of him. He's a professional guy. Not a peep out of him because he's never asked for a trade. He's never demanded a trade. The Knicks have offered 2 to 3 players and 5 first-round picks for him, and Utah is still not satisfied with that. But in this scenario, it's the Knicks or nobody. Nobody else has the assets. The Knicks have been building their assets to get a star like him. So we'll see on that. But I do think he deserves a little bit of respect of not pushing his way out. Getting his way out of there, like they've all done. I mean, Dwayne Wade didn't do it. Yeah, Carmelo Anthony did it.
But even that pisses me off. These connected to the Knicks 3 years from now. Really? How do you know what's going to happen 3 years from now? You know what I mean? That's the NBA.
It's worse for the fans.
Remember, even LeBron was, in 5 years he might be in Miami. Well, how do you know that? You don't know this, but the NBA seems to know everything. For 3 years, he's going to the Knicks. He's not going yet.
He was supposed to be coming to the Knicks. The great artists on the internet were putting him out there, jamming balls in a Knicks jersey. I even have from me and my friends. We drove up on a road trip from down here up to Boston to see the Mets play the Red Sox, and on the way back we hit Citi Field. That was the first year it opened. I wanted to check it out, and we were in Toys R Us Times Square, R.I.P. But Toys R Us come back. They're getting their Macy's. Is it Macy's that they're in?
I think so.
Yeah. And by the way, Toys R Us was always more expensive than every other place. So
especially Times Square, Manhattan. Is definitely the most expensive place.
But LeBron they had a cardboard cutout of him, and I remember putting up a Knicks jersey in front of him. I have a picture somewhere and taking a picture because I was super confident. I was like, he's coming. He's gonna win Knicks the championship for the first time. And then there's a stupid interview. Well, this fall I'm gonna take my talents to South Beach. Get out of here.
Rick, who does he comes on the show sometimes.
Yeah,
he broke the news to us because he worked down there, and he said that LeBron reserved a whole restaurant in Miami for the day after that announcement.
Wow.
So I kind of like, so he's going to Miami, and then me and Eddie were like, oh shit, he's going to Miami. And when he announced, we were like, holy shit, Rick was right. Rick, because he reserved the restaurant a day in advance or some shit. The same night, I think. After
that was a nail into my heart. That was a nail in my heart.
It ain't done till I remember when he was here, he got like a presidential motorcade into the garden to go talk to the owners and everything, and presidential motorcade out, and it's like, dude, really? And people had the hey LeBron, come here. Hey, oh my God, everyone had the signs and stuff. Oh God.
And the difference was James Dolan ain't got shit to show him. It was a terrible, terrible thing. And still to this day, there's talk that LeBron was going to the Knicks until he met with the Knicks. And then it was done. And all Riley had to do was let me toss all my rings up onto the
and by the way, we have Dwayne Wade. You know that, right? By the way, we have these guys will take pay cut.
Chris Bosh was coming
to get you here. Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it's all about, right? The pay cut. So Tom Brady's done it all his life. He's got couple rings to share with his people, and that kind of leads us right in. Tom Brady kind of takes some time off from the Bucks, and everybody's cool with it. And then you got
when you have that many rings, you can do what you want.
So, but now there's rumors. I don't know if they've been shot down since I read them a little bit earlier. It was that Brady was going to the Bahamas, but now there's some rumors. I guess questions were asked that were not shot down. But was Tom Brady on The Masked Singer? That is
really
solid rumor out there in the rumor mill.
Ooh.
So, but does that change things? But does that change things though? Does that like as an owner, unless he told the owner and it's like I
No,
whispered to you I don't want the media to know.
yeah, he'd have to tell the owner something stupid like that. And
Yeah.
that's probably I don't know, wow, that'd be pretty interesting if he is.
Yes, I haven't watched that too many times, but
How
I don't
far is
know.
that
It
taped in advance? It's got to be taped quite a bit of advance then.
has to be, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny if
Imagine,
it is.
imagine that's it.
Wow.
All right. Here, Terzio. All right, buddy. We'll catch up with you later. Let's go Mets tomorrow. Good night, buddy. Let's talk a little bit about baseball. I know we're jumping around here, but that's kind of like what I want to do. I know other shows. Let's go through the basketball and have rules.
Oh
And how
wait,
we go
though
through
one
baseball.
one thing I forgot to bring up in our pre-production
Sure.
meeting too. We forgot to mention that John Gruden and the Raiders said, "Nah, we don't want Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. We're gonna pass on that trade." Wow.
Dumbasses.
It's like, and you should have got fired for that, not for all the shit you actually did. Wow, I can't believe that.
Because that's just being terrible at
Yeah.
as a football guy. But
That's
then,
just
that's not the only news from out of Gruden this week. There's some more news of his emails. Is that, is that now supposedly it didn't stop way back then. There were emails sent as Raiders head coach. So that could get him, into even I don't know. Can it get him into more deep shit?
no,
That,
he's done. He's
happen.
never coaching again. So who cares at this point?
It's just his reputation gets a little bit more tarnished, a little bit,
Dude,
slightly. It
got
is
it.
what it is at this point.
He got his money. He's on a golf course somewhere. I wouldn't care. I'd be like, I'm done. Goodbye. He's never going to coach again. And who would want to play for him anyway?
No, nobody wants to play for him. It's like you
No.
want to play with the schmuck from Jacksonville kicking people. Man. All right. Let's switch back over to baseball real quick and talk about somebody who's going to be retiring at the end of this year, and that's Albert Pujols. We have the personal Albert Pujols and then the baseball player Albert Pujols, and he's closing in on 700 home runs. He's got 7 home runs in the last 12 games or some craziness like that.
He's on fire.
He's acting like 24-year-old instead of 42-year-old Pujols.
Good for him.
Yeah, so he obviously gets a return. He gets a return to the Cardinals. I heard something weird. I don't want to get sidetracked here. That Yadier Molina left the team for some weird reason. But I'll have to. Terzio will probably have that off the top of his head.
Look, the fact that Yadier Molina is still playing, that's a huge testament right there.
And Wainwright, those three?
The fact that he was still in the major leagues. And Molina's a catcher, for Christ's sake. The fact that he's still going is unbelievable.
All right. Here it is. Okay. So he left the team. We'll get back to Pujols for a second in a moment. But he left the team over the weekend to go watch a basketball team that he owns play. Do you have a problem with that as Cardinals manager, GM? Or he's 40. Can I replace him for a weekend?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's like, dude, you're 40, you've been around forever, you won us a couple of World Series. Go take your weekend off and do what you got to do. Plus, a couple of days off for a 40-year-old catcher is probably good. Probably good for your knees and your elbows and stuff. So, can you if he was 20, I'd be like, no, no, not even 30. No, you're not going anywhere. That's crazy.
All right, back to Pujols. 700. I think he's at 693 now. So I think he's got 7 to go, and it's going to be tough. And he's already said he's retiring no matter what. So respect to that he's not going to try and hang on for 20 games next year to hit 3 home runs or whatever at the end of the year. But he's got 7 to go now. You think he's going to make it? If he keeps this pace up, maybe. But he's got about 35, 36, 37 games to go, and he needs 7.
I'd like to say yes. I want to say yes. Because Pujols is, he's one of those guys. Does anybody hate Albert Pujols? Anybody really hate Albert Pujols? No, he's a nice dude. He's a good dude. He's a good teammate. He's a winner. I got no problem. I hope he does hit it. I really hope he hits. I hope he doesn't end up with 699 because that would piss me off. Sure, it would piss him off, but it would really piss everybody else off.
That's A-Rod, right? 699.
If I'm a pitcher and he's at 699, I'm floating that ball in. I'm floating it in. I don't care if my name is in that record book. I'm telling him this. I'm going to throw a fastball right down the middle. You better hit that bitch out so you get your 700 to get the hell out of here.
Yep.
Because
it's like,
but then again, if it was, your Manny Ramirez, I'd be thrown at his face if he had 699. you ain't getting it off me. No way, no how, no hell are you getting that home run off me.
I'm not going to be a trivia question answer. Not to you, Manny.
Not in your piece of shit career. Never in a million years.
Oh man. All right. Yeah. I mean, it'd be nice for Pujols to get it. I when you think back, to the mid 2000s when he was just ridiculous, just obscene to watch, the guy. And then he had those foot problems when he went to the Angels. Maybe without those foot problems, maybe he would be well past that by now. Maybe challenging Hank Aaron's record of 755 home runs.
Yes,
but
I agree.
And that's what I always thought. And he, the commercials, he was just a big, massive star in baseball, which is great for the game. So, hopefully he can do it. I would hate for him if he's not going to do it. Then 695. Don't land on 699.
Yeah, exactly. And real quick though, with all respect to Ashley, one of our co-hosts on this network, how annoying are the Angels? They've ruined Albert Pujols' career. Mike Trout is not going to ever win unless he leaves.
Poor guy, man.
Ohtani's going to get traded. Mike Trout, the best player in the game for years, not going to win one. And they were bad this year. I mean, how can they be as bad as they are?
They started off good, and then they lost 14 in a row or some shit like that.
Oh my god!
You've never seen, I haven't seen. Has Pujols has Trout? Have they made the playoffs at all? Wild card game, nothing. I feel like he's been in nothing.
I don't think he's been in anything. I'm gonna have to fact check that. Raul, fact check that, please. Raul's a fact checker. I don't think so. I don't think he's even been in the first round. I don't think so.
That is such a shame for, and then Ohtani, if he knows what's good for him, he's like, okay, go ahead, trade me. I'm good. So they revealed today that, or was it today or yesterday, that potentially now is the time to sell the team. And to me, that just sounds like sell the team, trade everybody, start fresh.
Yep.
And what the hell does Soto's younger, but Soto, the Padres went, balls deep with Soto and all the guys that they got for him. But what does a Mike Trout trade package look like? What does a Shohei Ohtani trade package look like? Raul says one time Trout appeared in the playoffs since 2011.
Thank you, Raul.
Poor guy, man.
And literally the best guy in baseball, literally the best player for years and years. I don't know about this year, but for years he was the be all end all best player in the game. 5 tools.
Well, he almost had to retire.
Yeah,
he had the back thing. I think it was something different. When it first happened, of course, I thought of David Wright, having to and not that I'm comparing the two, but getting a career cut short. But it's something different now. He's got a rib issue, but I think he's good now. He's back. I think he missed a month, which who cares? The Angels are.
I have a great trade idea. Mike Trout for Aaron Hicks, straight up.
That is very unfair. I think the Yankees are getting taken advantage of there.
Because let me tell you, I hate Aaron Hicks. I hate.
So does your whole fan base. I see. I always see it.
When they signed
the lineup one day, and they said, "How do you sneak in there?"
Aaron Hicks signed to his 7-year deal. I wanted to kill myself. I was like, why? Why? Because he's a switch hitter? Why? He's garbage. He always has been. So yeah, I'll throw him in there in that package. You can have him. Gleyber Torres. To be honest with you, playing the show this year, I made a package for Mike Trout. I traded Stanton, Torres, and a shitload of minor leaguers, including Aaron Hicks and a couple minor leaguers for Mike Trout.
This was it.
And they went for it. I was like, they went for it.
Wow.
So
look at
it was
that.
awesome. It was awesome.
Don't let that happen. I don't want that does not need to happen in real life. All right. Yeah, so poor Mike Trout. What does an Ohtani trade look like these days with, the two-way player that he is, and he does a great job on both ends. So it's going to be very interesting to see. This is a guy that has not wanted to sell all this time, and now he said time is right. So let's see what happens with that, and expect the Angels not to be very good.
No, they're gonna have a fire sale this offseason. Watch this offseason, fire sale. Come get them. Come get them all.
And here we go. Now I feel like I'm in the same boat as you. Now everybody's going to be tied to the Mets, just like everybody used to be tied to the Yankees. Are talking to 18 million different center fielders. They'll get one. Yeah, that's what it is. Yankees are trying to do the Braves approach. What do you say? And signing players, and it backfired with Hicks. How many years into the contract is he? A couple years?
4?
3?
Way too many.
That deep in. But the Braves, I give it to the Braves. I hate them, but they have locked up what they believe is their core, guys like Riley, and for the next 7+ years. They even locked up this guy who just started really doing well. They locked him up. I mean, it's player friendly. It's team friendly. It's like 8 years, $72 million, which is a bargain. Even if he's mediocre outfielder these days, what, 16 million a year? So I mean, $9 million a year.
Look at what's up with the Padres, man. Even with Tatis gone, probably forever, that team on paper should be in first place by 10 games. They just can't. They can't put it together. They can't put it together.
They make me happy though. If there's a team out there that does that type of thing worse than the Mets did, it's the Padres. They always So Hosmer, they were going to trade him in the offseason to us. It was that weird, and the other guy got moved to Minnesota. Wound up with Tommy John surgery, I think. But they can never seem to. On paper, like you said, in the offseason, like, the Padres did all this. They will attempt to dethrone the Dodgers. Well, dethrone is a weird. Giants won the division last year. But they win 107, 108 games. But I don't know what it is. But I'm glad that there's another team out there that doesn't do it very well. But with them, it's the pitcher. They don't have the pitching.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Who's their starting? Who do they have? Who's their big signing? Clevenger?
They have Clevenger. They did sign Clevenger, but they have Yu Darvish. They got the kid from the Rays who won the Cy Young a few years back, but he sucks. Yeah, his Cy Young year was his
Glasnow. What's that dude's name? I forget his name too. I draw a blank now.
But that was his only. It was Blake Snell. There's a Glass now.
He's still there though, isn't he?
Yeah,
I think he's still on Tampa.
Yeah, but it was Snell, and the Mets were rumored to be in on him. I said, I don't want. He's had one good year. I'm going to pay him all this money, and then in a year and a half, 2 years, I got to hear the whole Mets fan base say, "We shouldn't have gotten him. Look at him." But he's got an ERA 5.5, 6, something like that, something crazy like that. Did you hear about Hakeem Nicks selling his? He's trying to sell his Super Bowl ring.
Oh God, is he in that much trouble?
But yeah, that's the thing that was confusing me. It's reported on TMZ Sports earlier. He's decided to part ways with the ring. He's going to put it up for auction, but part of it's going to charity. If you're in, it doesn't give a definitive reason, but the first thing in my mind was he's broke. He's got to bring some money. There's a great documentary by Billy Corbin, by the way. It's called Broke. It's about 2 or 3, 4 guys that were big stars, and then they had no more money. Now they're broke. But it says plenty of history. Knicks is a big reason why New York was able to upset Brady in that. They say Brady, they don't say the Patriots. That's hilarious. 10 catches, 109 yards in that Super Bowl. Huge grabs for Manning. It's unclear why Knicks is selling the piece. It says, but according to Heritage Auction, the ring from the former White House, we're told a portion of the proceeds will go to charity, which to me, it's like maybe he is broke and he doesn't want to seem like a jerk. But if you're broke, then you need the whole, what is it, 85 grand? I think it's going to go for.
Wow. That's actually not a lot of money. I thought Super Bowl rings would be a lot more money than that. And this is one of the greatest upsets in the history of fucking football.
Right.
And that's it. That's shocking to me. I bet if it was Strahan or Manning, it'd be 150 plus probably.
But it's typically when you see it, it's that they're broke and you go through, oh, that's so sad. They had all this and they blew it. I wouldn't be that guy. You never know. All right, so let's get back to the NFL real quick, and then we'll I think we can finish off with a couple of baseball things, and then we can head on off into the sunset tonight. 2020. Okay, as we're getting closer and closer to more and more cuts NFL preseason, CBS Sports popped up a list of 12 notable names who could and potentially will be shopped ahead of the final roster cuts. And I just wanted to talk through some of these names. Some of these names are big names and can be a huge help to a contending team missing a piece or two. Number one is Jimmy Garoppolo, which still super weird.
Shocked that he hasn't been moved also.
How awkward is that, right? Timmy, he said goodbye to everybody.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. Bye, I'm leaving, gotta go. Oh no, by the way, you're going to start week 1. What? Like, I don't want it. Like, why would you want to be there? That's why it doesn't make any sense. But
I don't know. But so, let's see. It's just a matter of where and how soon. If he gets traded before the deadline, which I don't see the deadline. It's final cut down day. It does still isn't named the deadline, but he's going to make $25.5 million. But the other thing to me is, like, Jimmy Garoppolo is your better chance to win this year.
Yep. And he did take you to the Super Bowl. I know that doesn't mean much, I guess, nowadays.
I guess not.
But he did. He did get you there. He was decent enough to get you there. There's been some quarterbacks who weren't decent enough, but they made it anyway because of their defenses. Ravens.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I thought he's good enough to win. Is he Brady? Is he Montana? No, he's not. But he's still good enough to get you there.
Yeah, and you take a look at quarterback salaries all around the league. $25.5 million for somebody who can get you to the big game is, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It just feels like they want zero part of him. He's done. They're going with this clown over here. Who? How many games can he win? But we'll talk about that as the weeks keep on going towards opening night of football, baby. It's almost here, right around the corner. 9 months or so ago, we were complaining it's going to take so long, and now it's here. Don't be called like that. Kareem Hunt. So there's two avenues here: Kareem Hunt or Dearness Johnson, who are the two number 2 and 3 running backs for the Browns, the yeast that has fallen in. So former Chief, obviously, he's coming real cheap. Kareem Hunt did a fantastic job last year, while the Browns were just in disarray all over the place. But he filled in really nicely. He's only due $6.25 million. He's a good pass catcher, so he's one of these guys, team out there that needs a running back that can be a pass catcher out of the backfield. For who's quarterbacking the first 11 games? Is it Brissett? I don't like Jacoby Brissett is a fine. He's an okay quarterback, and you don't want to root against him. But I got to root against him. He's on the Browns. I root against him.
It's funny. I watched that thing on Vice, The Dark Side of Football. Have you seen that?
I have not.
And they talk about the Browns and the Browns always the GMs always made the wrong decisions, this and that. But at the end, Baker was the light, the tunnel, the oh my god, we've done it. We have all these trade guys, and then I'm thinking going because they signed Watson. I mean, the trade for Watson. I'm like, there they are again. It's the Browns like curse. Like
Stupid.
every GM that comes in makes a real stupid decision. And now it's Deshaun Watson who's the big stupid decision. The fact, I can't even. It baffles me.
Well, on the Deshaun Watson front, did you hear what a genius his agent is?
Go, let's hear this. Let's hear it.
Guess how much his salary was in the first year of his contract?
How much?
$1 million.
Okay.
So his fine for missing 11 games is $666,000 on top of the $5 million fine. So very well done. I mean, you got to give credit to where credit is due, and the agent. Wow, and but then you feel like the Browns were like, all right, he did all that stuff, but let's just get through this
remember,
and not have to pay him a lot of money.
This is where they're wrong. This is why they said they did their research. They did their due diligence.
Full of shit.
We find that he's not going to be guilty of these. But now, before we get into that now, see, this is where I'm down the middle on this. He technically hasn't been found guilty of anything.
Right.
That's where my problem is. But he did settle civil suits. So that's kind of an admission of guilt without saying you're guilty. But there hasn't been any proof that he's actually done anything. Now, again, one woman, prove it. Two, I'll even give you three. You still got to prove it. When you're talking about this many, though, dude, I mean, come on. I mean, it's ridiculous. But again, not one hasn't been found guilty of anything, though. Right. So to me, it's like, what do we do?
It was super. It was like, I don't know if it was shocking, interesting. I don't know what the word to use when Goodell said they're pursuing a bigger bigger suspension because of predatory activity. So do
they know something that we don't? Are they not saying something?
I don't know if it's that or if it's that so many different times, like you just said, if it's 1, 2. So how many was it in all told? Like women, it was 11, like 20 something, 26, 20,
yeah.
But the fact that I don't know, in Goodell's mind, and thankfully I don't have to make these decisions, but in his mind, it's like you did this to get this, you did this again to get that. It was like almost like a predator trying to get his preyers. I can see where he's coming from. I also see where this is all ending on the week where he goes back to Houston to play the Texans. So, on one hand, maybe Goodell didn't want to get the bad rap that he got with the Ray Rice thing, but on the other hand, let's make as much fucking money as possible on this, and we'll reinstate him before he goes to Houston. Which I don't even know if the Browns will play him. But, what if they're right in the middle of something, a game out or two in the hunt for the wild card or the division? Do you really go to? I guess the answer is yes, but do you really go to the guy who hasn't played football in how long? In a stretch run of 5 games.
Me personally, 4. My personal opinion, he ain't as good as everyone thinks he is. I just don't think so. That's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. He might prove me wrong.
What did you see? No, I remember this because I thought this, and then you wrote it on a. I don't know who posted it, but it was the best quarterbacks in each division.
Yeah, and he wasn't. Yeah, they listed him as the best in that division. He's not. No. He's third. He's third.
As much as we say things, as much as we talk about Lamar Jackson, he's what is it? 84% of 86% of the offense.
Yeah,
and he does it well. It's not like he's 86% of the offense and he sucks. He's doing a good job out there with, by the way, no wide receivers to speak of, barely a running back to speak of. So he's the whole damn game. And do not even tell me that Deshaun Watson is better than that cigar smoking beast in Cincinnati.
No, if Joe Burrow can just stay healthy, He's light years better than Deshaun Watson. I know. I didn't
Yes,
understand what the best one saying. The Browns gave up way too much for this dude, and now he's not even going to play the first 11
guaranteed
games. Yeah,
money,
it's disgusting. It is.
and screwing around with the $1 million. That's bullshit. That is bullshit.
Listen,
$1 million for your first
you know how
first
much
year.
I love football. I mean, it's my absolute favorite, but the NFL is so fucking corrupt and
Ugh.
so whacked out of their brains. Calvin Ridley's getting the whole year because he plays the bet. A whole year. But Deshaun Watson,
He didn't settle any
seri-
civil suit, nothing.
serial predator, is getting 11 games. He'll be back in time to play the rivalry game against Houston, the big rematch of
Unbelievable.
going back to Houston, whatever.
With
It's
the Mills
it's
with the neck.
yeah, it's evil. It's an evil thing. And I told you, I love football. I absolutely love it. But
Yeah,
they are a weird, corrupt, money-driven league. Like you said, it's all about the money. Well, just
that's all it is.
it's a coincidence that Baker Mayfield's playing the Browns week 1.
Come on, come on. All right, I want to get through a few more of these, then we'll hit the baseball, and then we'll get out. I'll go through some names. These are all guys I think that can somehow help a team that is a couple of pieces away. Ronald Jones, I had no idea. I got to catch up on some of this stuff because the NFL free agency period is so fast and furious that inevitably in the preseason or even week 1, you're like, oh shit, he's playing for that team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Ronald Jones is on the Chiefs now. Did not know that. Did not know that at all. Dearness Johnson, also a trade candidate. He showed that he could be a beast in the running game for Cleveland last year. Talking about Patriots, Kendrick Bourne. So New England is now they got Devontae Parker, Jacoby Myers, Nelson Aguilar. I don't know if you're trying to help Mac Jones or not. Devontae Parker was good talent, but he just never could stay healthy in Miami. And then when they got when they got what's his name from the Chiefs, Devontae Parker and others become expendable. So now Kendrick Bourne is. Interesting one. Here's one that hits close to home, and that's with the New York Football Giants, and that is Darius Slayton. So they're talking about in at least here on CBS Sports, they really just say there are a few, if any, players in the Giants transitioning roster who need GM Joe Schoen wouldn't be willing to deal. Slayton, despite 2 straight 700-yard seasons to begin his big league career, has plummeted down the depth chart. He's now a 3 or 4, and he might be drawing some looks. What do you think about that?
Obviously, these people haven't seen Kenny Galladay play because he's
Right,
the one I'd be
that's the
trading
deep guy.
immediately. I would get rid of Kenny Galladay tomorrow for nothing if I could.
How many
Does,
touchdowns? How many touchdowns did he score?
0.
Zero.
He even in the preseason game. Did you watch the preseason game?
Yeah.
He runs like he doesn't want to be there. He dropped a fucking easy pass. He doesn't want to. You know what? Gone. I would keep Slayton. Galladay gone. Eat some of the contract if you have to eat it, but I can't stand him. I really can't.
I mean, don't you think that if I mean, Giants' offensive line has improved this year? If did you see that the thing I posted in the We Stomped You Out? The Giants had a pocket.
Mm-hmm.
If that were to come to fruition, right? Darius Slayton is the guy that might benefit the most out of that because he's the deep threat. And if Daniel Jones or whoever's playing quarterback is for the Giants this year, if he's got a few more seconds, that gives Darius Slayton a few more seconds to get 10, 20 yards down the field.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think that's a mistake if they go that route. But new regime and
Kenny Galladay is not getting open at all.
Garbage.
At all.
I was pretty cool with that signing because I mean he had the year before with Detroit. I know he came off the injury, but that year he was doing great. A couple of years before that, he had big seasons, and just never.
By the way, Daniel Jones 77% passer rating. So everyone just calm down a little bit. He's had a good preseason so far. He hasn't blown people away, but that's not what we need right now.
Right.
He's had a good preseason. 77%.
Giants need a step forward.
Yes.
We need a step. We need a nice step forward, and just not. So when we stomp you out comes back, it's not same old, same old.
It's not Bill Murray fucking playing the goddamn Sonny and Cher song every day.
Eating a bigger and bigger breakfast, driving off cliffs.
That's exactly how I feel. I want to drop a toaster in the tub when I'm in there when the Giants play.
And the other I guess main guy out here is OJ Howard, who is now with the Bills. That he's been uninvolved, and I haven't seen much of Bills training camp or preseason, but he hasn't been involved and been unspectacular when he has been involved.
Well, though he's a tight end, isn't he?
Yeah.
They already have two tight ends. Why the hell would they sign him? They sign him, just trade him?
I guess he's on a 1-year deal with the Bills in free agency, but he's not been involved, is what they're saying.
Yeah, they have two other good tight ends. I don't know why they would have him. Oh, they'll probably just release him.
Raul says the owner of the Washington football team, what are they? The Commanders, should have been forced to sell a team for what he has done. That's when you have people in the business or whoever say that that's the worst owner in sports. When you got James Dolan, a few hour drive up 95, then there's problems there. There's definite problems there. All right. Last thing that I want to touch on, MLB reveals their new look schedule for 2023. And what's new about it is that every single team is going to play every other team, which equates to less divisional games. What are your thoughts on that, Timmy? You get to see everybody. There's not one team, not one star that you won't see.
Yeah, I like that. I like it. It's a good, they need to change every now and then. I like that idea. I like the idea of having to see, they said, every team, more variety. So it's not going to be 18 times you play your division rivals anymore. Good. That's.
Yeah, I don't know how many times it is, but it's not 18 times anymore. So the one thing that I just take issue with, and I'm looking to see if it's the same issue with you guys, is that the Mets do not play the Braves at all in September. Now, you'd like to have the divisional games happening in September, but not to face your chief rival. There's something missing there. It's like NFL, the Giants. Those last couple of weeks is typically divisional games because that's where the money's going to come out for the divisional games. But for you guys, you do have. I'm just looking. So for next September, I know we're not finished with this season yet, but just curious on this. You got Houston. I'm not going to go at or home, but you got Houston, Detroit, Milwaukee, 4 with Boston. See, but then you got 3 with Pittsburgh, which I mean, and every other team will have that kind of situation, I guess. You got 3 with Toronto, then you got 3 with Arizona, then you got 3 with Toronto again, and then you close with 3 at Kansas City. So I think that's the only thing. But I do like to be able to. I'd like to be able to see Trout every year, right? Just to not to kill the Mets, but just to catch them. Those West Coast games you're not really seeing. And for the Mets, next September they'll face Seattle, Washington, Minnesota, Arizona, Cincinnati, Miami. Okay, so the Mets' final 2 weeks of the season next year: 3 against Miami, 4 against Philadelphia, 3 against Miami, 3 against Philadelphia.
So you got a good September coming up.
That's not too bad. Look at that, Arizona, Cincinnati. Let's make some plans for next year.
That's a good September, man.
But you guys close against the Royals, so if you guys are in a thing, but I like the balance. But I think that. Do you think that this is just? Maybe I'm wrong, but do you think that this is just a sign of things to come? Like, are they like? the leagues don't really mean anything anymore, except for when the playoffs start. I'm just afraid that they're going to do something wild and screw some shit up that with the leagues I'm talking about, because now every single year whoever's in the World Series, they've already played each other. NFL, you might not get that. NBA, you will get that. So it seems though now the NFL is going to be the only league where you might get a championship game or series where the two teams haven't played yet. So that's the thing. I just don't want them to go nuts. Maybe switch around divisions. I know that they want to add a couple of more teams, Timmy. I know Nashville,
yeah. Vegas.
It was one. Vegas is another. But Oakland might just move to Vegas. Oakland's gone, man. That's a bad situation out there.
Their minor league team is outscoring them 6,000 to 2,000. It's horrible.
What? It's terrible. But and then why do you even go in that? See, the people that are still going to that to those games, I get it. I was a Mets fan, and I've been to Shea Stadium where there was like 8,000-9,000 people there, and I've been to my Marlins Park where there's 3,000 people there. So, but again, as people go, that's kind of a situation that's already kind of killed itself off. Oakland, I'm sorry, you're gonna lose a baseball team. Sorry about that. But New York lost 2 baseball teams, and they were all good back then. So maybe in a couple of years, clean up your act, get a nice little stadium, and maybe you could be part of like 34th team in the league. All right. So any closing thoughts here? I think we covered everything here.
Oh, well, yeah. You know what you said, though? I didn't really think about that, though. Yeah, there won't be a surprise in the World Series anymore. They would have faced each other during the season. Yeah.
At least a 3-game set, but which means nothing, obviously. We've seen the Mets swept, I think, the season series from the Dodgers in '88 and we lost in the playoffs. That's just...
Maybe they should make like the division you were supposed to face 3 games, the other new teams 2 games, something along those lines. Maybe just to kind of bring it down a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see what they do.
What this does though too. This opens up for when people always say like, "Oh, you can't beat this team, you can't beat that team." Well, in baseball, you have to beat the shitty teams. There's way more shitty teams than there are good teams. Those are the teams you got to beat. Now you're going to be facing a lot more shitty teams. You might see 120 wins next year, 130 wins.
The Dodgers.
You might see.
You playing in Kansas City and.
I mean, hell, if these teams
Anaheim.
don't improve, you guys might have an undefeated September next year. Look at you guys said.
I like that.
You just don't know. You just don't know the way that's going to air out. If this fails next year, though, or if people don't like it, or like you said, something weird happens, I think they're going to fix it. They're going to go right back to a normal schedule. Baseball seems to always trying everything new. They're never satisfied. Baseball. They're like, we got to do this, we got to do that. Football too is getting there. Hockey and basketball just don't fucking change.
We're good. A lot of changes there.
We're good.
And and I don't know. I mean, there's some good changes. You see we haven't spoken about this, but the whole pitch clock thing that's taken a lot of time off games in the minor leagues, and they said it's not really impacted stats one way or the other. The pitcher's not in a rush, hitter's not in a rush. So you got that. The automatic strike zone is probably going to be coming in a couple of years. And I never expected Buck Showalter's old school guy to be in favor of it. But you watch a typical baseball game. How many missed calls are there in the strike zone? And some of them are, when it happens in the 9th inning. This is big money, by the way. There's betting involved. There's gambling involved, and so
the fact that Angel Hernandez still has a job is baffling.
My God.
Is baffling. I've never seen anyone as bad as he is. Never. Raul, Aaron Judge is not going anywhere.
Where did he say that?
and even if, let me tell you something again.
But this season is costing you a lot of money, though.
It's true. No, it's true. But this is coming from me. I'm not giving a 31-year-old a 10-year deal. I'm not. I'm not doing it.
You can't do that.
Let him walk.
You
Let
can,
him walk. We just drafted another 7-foot right fielder. Just plug him in. We seem to like 7-foot right fielders for some reason. We just drafted one this year. Let him go. Let him take that. I'm not giving a 31-year-old, 30-year-old top 10-year
oh,
deal that this guy
I
wants.
just caught up to his comment. San Francisco. Yeah, they mentioned San
Yeah.
Francisco as one of the teams. I think it's so getting back to Steve Cohen and the Mets thing now. With everybody's going to be attached to the Mets now. As soon as he said no to the Yankees, Cohen was being asked, and I think he already said no. I think he already.
Listen,
Either he's just being
I
smart. But who
love
gives a
Judge.
10-year deal to a 31-year-old guy, though?
I say I love Judge. I really do. But if he wants a 10-year deal, and if some other team is willing to give it to him, bye.
What
Sorry.
if you what if they did a 10-year deal, but the last 3 years was half the amount of the others,
Look,
and
he's fielding and
he would
stuff.
have to drop a no trade clause, like
Yeah,
that,
something. Yeah,
like
it has to
yeah,
be. It have to be just as loaded incentive wise for the Yankees as it is for him.
yep, right, yeah.
Because again, 30, 31 years old. Yes, he's a good right fielder, but with his size and his injury history, that ain't going to last much longer. Which means now you're giving $40 million a year for 10 years to a DH. No,
Yeah,
no, just no. I'm
that's what it
sorry.
is.
It's just you can't do it. Half these trades this year,
The
I
guy's
don't
a
want
beast,
Soto.
though.
He is. I mean, I can't. I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm not getting all happy until they re-sign him. But if they don't, listen. By the way, Roll, if he goes to the Giants, baseball's fixed. If that's what you're saying, because they play them first next year. If he goes to the Giants and that's the opening games next year, fixed. I don't care what anyone says.
Wait a
There's no
second.
way that
Yeah, he's got. I'm fact checking the fact checker. Yeah,
fact
three.
checking the fact check. They open
But
against
it's
the
in
Giants.
it. They open against the Giants at Yankee Stadium for
So
tickets as low as $342.
exactly.
Wow.
If he signs with the Giants next year, baseball is fixed. I don't care because that's a weird that's what they played the first week.
San
That's too much of
Francisco
a coincidence. It's too
open
much
up
of a coincidence.
Thursday, March 30th at Yankee Stadium. 3 games with San Francisco, and then you open up with 6 games against the National League. That's what this schedule does. Is a 3 at home against San Francisco, 3 at home against Philadelphia, which let's go Yankees in that series. Or already doing it. You know, in case you're watching the show or us for the first time, I'm a Met fan. That's a Yankee fan right there, but I'm not that guy who would rather the Phillies beat the Yankees than the Yankees beat the Phillies. That's asinine. Yankees will
Mm-hmm.
give Judge an 8-year contract, says Raul, $300 million. What was the final? What was the final offer? 200s, right?
Yeah, 7 for 2 something. I don't know what it
230 or
was.
something like that, or something.
I forget
Yeah,
what it was. But $30 million
that's nuts.
isn't enough anymore. A year isn't enough anymore.
But with Judge, it's these power guys, and you can also always say, "Oh, the power guys are 240," but then you look at Judge, and he's hitting. I don't know what he's hitting this year, but an example of him that year the year that he hit 52 home runs, didn't he hit 284? I mean,
Yeah. No, he's a
that
good hitter.
that's not a typical 2022 hitter.
And for his size, he's a good right fielder. Like I said, that's the
Yes,
first thing that's going to go when
yeah,
he's 31, 32, 33 years old. It's going to start going. Not everyone can be Tom Brady and play when they're 65 years old. It's just not going to happen.
yeah,
So, I'm not giving anybody. First of all, I'm not giving anyone a 10-year deal. I don't care if you're 20. I'm not giving Soto a 10-year deal because
yeah.
10 years is 10 years, man. That's a long time to commit to a dude who you may not even want to play in
You
5
never
years.
know, right?
You just never know. Then you're stuck. You still got to pay him a certain amount of money, even if he's like, nah, I'm gonna quit. Well, you still got to pay me, a certain cost.
Guaranteed, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So it's ridiculous. I can't do it.
Raul says 7 for 213 was the offer that
But
the Yankees made. That
that was their first one though. I think they went up after that, and he still said no.
original offer, yeah.
They went up after that, and he still said no. So now
Well,
he's out there.
I mean,
Now he's out there trying to hit 60 home runs now. So it's like, okay, here we go.
yeah. It's like what happens if he passes Maris? for the Yankee record. Which I mean,
Then they'll be
14.
They'll be paying him $61 million a year for every home run he hit.
And then, man, by the way, and I know that you're probably tired. The Yankee fans are probably tired of hearing this, but every fly ball that goes to right field, off the bat, you feel like it's out.
Yeah.
And then, the Yankees hit a couple of fly balls to the warning track in right field yesterday. I'm like,
even when you're there, you got to watch the outfield, because if not, you're like, oh shit, oh no, okay, it's out. Oh
my
shit,
God.
oh,
And
no,
then
it's okay, it's out.
And then that the throw that the right fielder made he threw one of the a Met out at the plate, and then to show where he was, it's like he's playing like deep second base because they play shallow there. Right field. That's hilarious.
I don't mind all the right field jokes and how easy it is to hit a home run there, but I hate when people say like, oh, that wouldn't have been out in other stadiums. Dude, the guy hit the fucking ball 460. It would have been out in any park.
He ain't wall scraping nothing.
No,
he's not wall scraping nothing, man. So usually when he hits it out to right field, it's about 30 rows deep. So
yeah,
it's hard to say it wouldn't be out in other places. All right. That'll about do it for us today, Timmy. Very successful first day back. Successful. We missed our third guy here, but we'll see if
Eric was here the whole time.
Yeah, Eric was back there.
Eric was here the whole time. So
yeah, it looks much better than the actual. Yeah, so I mean, this I like being able to talk about all the different sports here. So I like that we made this change. Timmy, any final thoughts today? You could talk about Terzio. He's gone.
No, I won't talk about Terzio. I don't want to. I don't pick on the weak. No, I just want to say all the shows coming up Friday. Finally, I have a guest that's not backing out. So
yes,
the 5th will be Friday, and we will be doing a Phantom Menace deep dive rewatch. If anybody wants to join us for that, and then we're going to have a guest, a cosplayer. These are all going to be lunatics, by the way. They're all a little off, but that's what I wanted. I wanted
they
that
fit right in with us. I think
that's what I wanted for this show. I didn't want normal people who just watch the movies and say they're awesome. No, I want the wackos who dress up and have the tattoos like me. That's what I wanted. So that's going to be Friday, shooting the 5th, and We Stomped You Out's coming back, and Just Too Sweet Saturday also. All the shows are coming. I'm excited.
Oof, busy time. A little bit of a lull right now when it comes to movies. That's what happens in August, but it's going to pick right back up real soon. Lots of TV going on. So check out the website, Pop Culture Pros.
Did you see Bullet Train?
Fan-freaking-tastic.
My favorite movie of the year. Hands down, my favorite movie of the year so far.
It was great. And listen, I'll fully admit that back in the day, I was not a Brad Pitt fan. Back in the day.
Thanks to
jealousy,
Thanks to Regal Unlimited, I've seen it 4 times.
Excellent.
And I would see it, and I would see it again. That's how much I enjoyed that goddamn movie.
It was great, and over the course of the next few days on other shows, we can catch up next week. But we'll talk about what a great job Warner Brothers is doing these days out there. They're doing a stand-up job out there.
They just pushed back the 2 new movies. They pushed them back.
2 of them.
Shazam is now coming out next year, and Aquaman way back next year, December.
From March to December.
Yeah, and Shazam's is going from December to the Aquaman spot. And Aquaman's going back to December 23.
Right. Shazam was supposed to be this December, right?
Yep.
And then it moved to March 2023.
And The Flash is coming out in the year 3012. Because that shit's never coming out. Never.
Meanwhile, 80 more successful Marvel movies will come out. But
it's just crazy.
I like that the meme that's been going around. It's the year 2085, and the kids have to watch 280 Marvel movies to catch up.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, real quick, tell you that baseball meme going around is my new favorite one. The Moneyball one, where it's Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt, and it says, "This is whoever," and his only defect is that those are the funniest goddamn memes out there right now. I laugh at every single one of them.
Awesome.
I love those. Those are so great.
They are fantastic. We've never been one to say how mature we are on this. Never. If we ever act mature, call 911. Something's wrong. We're going through some shit.
Don't follow us anymore. Something bad went wrong.
All right. So tomorrow night, the Put in the Book show will go on at 6. I believe we have Grannies at 7. And then Ashley and Skyliner will go on at 8:30. And then got Shooting the Sith, like you said, on Friday. A to Z is off on Friday, but a Just Too Sweet special Saturday night's main event is being planned right now for this Saturday. And then we start it all over again next week.
It's my tag team partner's birthday on Saturday, so call in, stop in, say happy birthday. And
he's 712.
He's picking what we're watching, so I have no idea what we're watching. We're going to do a rewatch of. I wanted to do a Saturday night's main event, the originals, and
Lord,
and talk about them. But he said he's going to pick something special.
Well, okay. You know what it's going to be, right? It's going to be every Ultimate Warrior match ever, and it's only going to take you 34 minutes to watch it.
That's true. That is true. Hogan's is the longest match ever, I think.
That's it.
Oh God. He's gonna be mad.
All right.
He's gonna be mad now.
He's gonna be pissed. That's all right. That's right. All right. I mean, when Ric Flair says that the Warrior doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, you gotta kind of listen, I guess, right, Eric?
This is why we're doing the GOAT formula. This is
the formula. It's gonna be. Listen, and people are gonna steal that from us. So let's just be prepared for that.
We should copyright that right now. The GOAT formula.
Hell yeah. All right. That'll do it for us this week. Thanks for joining us, and welcome back. And next couple weeks is going to be fun as we head to opening night in the NFL in just a couple of weeks, and then we stomped you out coming back next week. That'll be fun too. We are hopelessly optimistic. Hopelessly optimistic.
Well, I'll save it for that show, but okay.
All right. Until next week. Peace out, everybody.